Sam here from Guitar.com. I'm with Steve Marks from Blackstar, and we're taking a look at the brand new Blackstar Sonnet acoustic amp range. Now, Steve, straight off the bat, that had a really open and natural sound to it. So tell us more about this amp and how you've achieved this great technology.
Hey Sam. Yes, so this is exciting for Blackstar. It's our first entry into the acoustic market professionally. We've been very lucky to have Jon Gomm on board, help us with the design stage very early on. So we were looking for something that was very natural, like you say. I'm glad you picked up on that. Very open sounding, a really good platform to start with, to let your expressive nature from your guitar, your playing style, to be lifted and elevated, basically. So your sound only louder, you know.
So working with Jon Gomm, then, how did that help develop the amp? What was his main input, and what did he want to hear from it?
Sure. Well, Jon will be the first to say that he's been offered many acoustic amps to use and endorse over the years, but he was really excited by the way we work, and he came down to the workshop many times to help with our engineers in the process. But he wanted something that would allow him to get much more resonant tones, because one of the cool things about this, and we'll talk about the features in a moment, is the high pass filter control, and it allows you to dial in more resonance into the body of the guitar. A lot of the time the high pass filter is always a set thing on an acoustic amp, so the fact that we can introduce more low end, which is something that maybe some people try to avoid because they don't want any nasty feedback and rumble from the acoustic, he wanted to be able to dial it in, and he knows a lot of players will benefit from that. But if you don't want that, you can just dial it out. The fact that you've got it adjustable, so
incredible. So walk us through the features then. Like we can see just from looking at the top, there's 4 inputs, a really natural sound, but there's some reverbs on board, and you've spoken about the high pass filter. So walk us through it.
Yeah, so essentially it's typical things that you would expect to see. There's 2 channels on here, one XLR or jack input for a second instrument, one dedicated for guitar, your acoustic. There's phase and shape switching, so you can just get that sort of fixed contour to shape your EQ a little more. But in the master section, you can see there's 2 types of reverb, and I think one of the nicest things when I first saw the initial early design stages was the fact that you can choose the reverb you want between hall and plate, but what you can do is adjust the reverb time, and then you've got a separate level on each channel. So if you're going for a hall reverb, which is where I'm at the moment in that initial demo, it's a more natural, roomy hall sound. If you go for plate, it's a much more shimmering, longer decay. So I can introduce a little bit more on the reverb time, but I can have maybe less level here. So it's in the mix, but it's not swallowing my sound, basically.
I'm also noticing as well there's a brilliance control, so tell us about that.
Yeah. So as with the high pass filter, it's looking at the control of how the resonance works, the low end. Brilliance looks after that top end sparkle. So you can tailor that. You can take it right off if you're just strumming the guitar. You know, you just some nice chords. But if you're finger picking and you want that nice sparkle in the top end, you can really raise that and find it without altering the EQ.
Fantastic. And there's also the ability to, it's got Bluetooth built in, MP3 line in. So is this also an app not just for acoustic players, for maybe singer-songwriters as well?
I'd say so. I mean, for someone like myself who does a few solo gigs now and then, this is ideal. I'd be able to wirelessly stream my audio via my mobile or my tablet straight to this unit. So let's just imagine mid-set, you know, background music. Maybe if I was playing to backing track, that sort of thing. But also what's very cool is we've got an optional foot switch as well, which gives you channel mute and reverb on and off as well. So channel mute, swapping from a 12 string to a 6 maybe. Reverb mute globally, so you can talk to the audience and explain the next song you're going to play without being drowned with loads of reverb, basically. So it's a pro way of looking at things. There's an acoustically engineered port in the side here as well, which you'll see, I'm sure, in some B-roll. But that was designed to really have so much low end. It's pretty amazing, really. But I think it'd be nice for me to show you the high pass filter rolled out and then rolled back in, so you can hear what's happening a little bit.
Great, let's do it.
that low end is brought back into the mix very easily, right? So let's look at the brilliance as well. So if I take that all the way down and do some more finger picking style, then I'll raise it as well.
Steve?
You can hear that brilliant sort of sparkle in the top end there, just kick in. It's just, it's very much with Blackstar, we like to give you a lot of tools to play around with. You don't have to use them, but it's there if you need them. And Jon was a big part of that.
Once again, there's heaps and heaps of versatility without overcomplicating it or making it seem unapproachable or anything.
Absolutely, yeah. It's easy to use, you can dive straight in. Let's look at the reverbs, yeah? So at the moment you're hearing the hall reverb on a sort of a medium level. I'm going to take it from the hall, I'll play a little something, then I'll go to the plate and you'll have that nice long decay if you wish. Again, it's going to suit different players. I'm sure you're going to hear that in the mix. So.
And Steve, one final question. Are they available now, and what is the price point?
They are available, yes. You'll have to forgive me on the price point. I'm not too sure on that, depending on where we're talking about. But, I mean, US dollars around about $3.99, UK about $3.69, something like that.
Fantastic. Steve, thank you very much for talking to us.
No worries.
You can read more about this great new acoustic amplifier on guitar.com.